Okay, so we have a few questions to clean up here from last week's homework. I'm going to do them all in one video. So I'm going to share my screen here and show you what I'm talking about, and then we can take a look at those. Okay, 1 sec here, we'll be able to share. They're all involving the sine rule and the cosine rule in various ways. One's actually solving a triangle. It should be pretty good for us to do these. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, here we go. Now we're all set. Okay, I'll start from the top and work my way down. This question here, somebody posted this one, sine and cosine rule. You just asked to find the side length of G here. And as you can see, you've got a side, an angle, and a side. So this is a straightforward cosine rule. So we'll do G squared is 27.5 squared plus 31.2 squared times 2 times the product of the sides times the cosine of the angle. Okay, so we'll just pull out the calculator here. Oops, calculator's been turned off. We'll turn it back on. And then we'll pull out the calculator. And, oops, eventually get it on the screen. There we go. And we just have 2 calculations to do. First, we have to, the line that we have, 27.5 squared. Cos of 82, and that gives us some number like that. And then we need to take the square root of that number. And so the answer for G is the square root of 1488.572, which is 38.58. So to 1 decimal place, we would say 38.6 units. Okay, that's one question. Then there's another question here, solving triangles. And these are all pretty much the same. So in each case, you're giving some information and you have to solve the triangle. Okay, I'll just do A since it wasn't, A and C. Okay, we'll start with A and C. So A, you've got an angle of about 84 degrees. So I would draw that first. Okay, and then there's another angle at about 40 degrees. So if I come about here, 40 degrees, and that was C, and it's telling me that little side A is 5.6, and we've got to solve the triangle. Okay, well, we've got 2 angles, and this must be B up here. We can get angle B by 180 minus 84 minus 40. So 180 minus 84 minus 40 gives us 56 degrees. Okay, so this is 56 degrees. And then we've got a side length and a bunch of angles. This is a sine rule question. Okay, it was actually the angle side scenario. Okay, so 5.6 over sine 84 is, well, little side C over sine 40, and then we would have little side B over sine 56. To either C or B, you cross multiply to solve for C. Okay, so C is going to be 5.6 sine 40 over the sine of 84. And that gives us 3.6 to 1 decimal place. B is going to be identical except for I'm multiplying sine 56 instead of sine 40. So 5.6 sine 56 over sine 84. You're just going to cross multiply across those 2 ratios. And that gives us 4.66, so about 4.7 to 1 decimal place. Okay, and that's question A. Now question C is a little bit different because there you've got 2 sides and an angle. We're going to need another page for that. So let's put in one more page here, add a page, and if we can see what we got, we've got one angle 62 degrees, and that's angle M. and then we're given two side lengths. So we start off, I'll just put down at the bottom, and then we'll roll the screen up in a sec. We start off with about a 62-degree angle for M. Okay, then we know one side length, N, will be 15.1. So if we establish this to be about 15.1 units, and that's little n, that means down here on this side, we're going to put the big N. And L, which is got to go there, ends down here, has got to be bigger than that at 16.9 degrees. So if that's 15.1, I need something that's a little bit bigger, but pretty close. This will be 16.9 degrees. Sorry, 16.9 units. And this will end up giving us our other side, N. Okay? And that's a triangle we have to solve for. So now, what do we have? Well, we have two sides and a contained angle. So to solve for M, it's just the cosine rule. Okay, so M squared would have been 15.1 squared, 16.9 squared minus 2 times 15.1, 16.9 cosine 62. Okay, so M squared will be this big number here, 274.011, and then we just take the square root to get 16.55 or 16.6 units for side M. Now we need two more angles. Here they are here in L and M. And we could use the cosine rule. We have three sides. I'll write this one in red here that we just got, 16.6. But it's much easier to use the sine rule. So we'll use the sine rule to figure out the other two angles. And that would be, well, our 16.55, a little bit extra decimal places here, divided by the sine of 62 would equal 15.1 over sine N, and that would equal 16.9 over sine L. So if we work on these two, we can get N. So sine N will be 15.1 sine 62 divided by 16.55. So 15.1 divided by 16.55. And that there is the sine of angle N. So to figure out N, we can just do the inverse sine of that. And that will give us, well, it gives us an acute angle. But based on the diagram we've drawn, we know that angle has to be acute. Okay, 15.7 is the angle there. And for the last angle, L, we won't use the sine rule again. We'll just subtract the two angles that we have from 180. And that'll leave us with 64.3. And that's how you would solve that triangle.